Have you ever had an interest in pedestrian crossings and rollway crossings and the flashing lights and the pushing the buttons and the little man that goes on and off? Would you want to have a man cave? Because I kind of want to have a man cave with those kind of things. And as you guys can see, I've got a few different things here today, including a very special unboxing of something cool live on air. Now, why do I want to have a man cave with these kind of things? Well, I make daily videos in this studio, and I have been ever since, January 1st, 2021, roughly. Well, no, that is actually very, very correct. It's very true, not roughly. So I want to start putting, cool-ish signs, cool-ish looking, functional road signs that actually work, that blink, that do all these kind of things. And I've been overseas with a lot of times with my parents over the years, and a couple by myself type of thing. England, America, Vietnam, India, and I always like to see the different signal systems that are in these countries. And I remember the first few times I went to America as a kid with my parents, and as a teenager, like, America's got some of the most amazing push buttons. They're all kind of different, and there's nothing standardized like there is kind of in Australia, right? There's so many different versions of the push buttons, and so many different little walking man signals. There's like the walk, don't walk, and there's the man red and man green, and then of course there's the countdown timers. I first saw the countdown timers when I was in America like 20 years ago, and that just blew my bloody mind. I was like, wow, Australia don't have that one. Australia's only starting to get these things now for the past 5-7 years now, kind of thing. And I will talk about that in a second. I will talk all about this in a minute, but I've got my computer here with a bunch of different articles and websites open and photos open to show you guys my journey. So yeah, in Australia, we'll start from the start. In Australia, where I live, Sydney, there's a couple of main companies that make signals and buttons for pedestrians and for the cars. So those two would be Barummus and Aldridge, okay? And I've contacted both of them to try and buy, something brand new, and they don't really deal with the public. They only kind of deal with businesses, unfortunately. I really would have liked to have bought a few different things, and I still probably will try to get something from them again in the future, but as it stands, they don't sell. I don't think they sell to the actual public, which is why they're not really willing to do business with me. Damn it, right? But anyway, so I was gonna get one of these, all right? Or one of these. Now, in Melbourne, Australia, I'll do a picture-in-picture. In Melbourne, Australia, they have this version, which is like a six aspect. Am I saying it correctly? But there is no white border. Do you see? It's just fully black. Now, in New South Wales, Australia, and maybe Queensland too, we have the white border. This is just a 3 aspect, but of course you can get 6 aspect or any different thing you need, right? If you're a council who needs road signs, right? I really like the white border around the black, which we have in New South Wales, like this right here, right? But the ones in Melbourne, in Victoria, don't have that. It's just pure black. I think it looks really ugly. And when you see trains these days, like a lot of pedestrian trains, they have the doors are actually colored orange or a bright color, so the pedestrians know where to get in and out from really quickly. I mean, as if we didn't know before, right? As if, where's the door? The door isn't painted orange. Where do we exit from? But a lot of train systems around the world, not a lot, but I guess they've been doing that here in Sydney for many years now, how the doors are actually coloured orange. I would have preferred if Australia went down America's route with their orange traffic lights. I actually really like the orange yellow traffic lights, but yeah, we ended up getting these ones for whatever reason, okay, with the white borders. But once again, Melbourne don't have the white borders, so in a way you think it's kind of harder to see where the traffic light would be because there's no white border there. There's no orange yellow door on the train, right, showing you very quickly where you need to look or where you need to go. That's just my little thought. I don't like that, but yeah, it is what it is. So if I'm going to get one of these, I'm going to get a 6 aspect one like this. And this is what I want. I want a 6 aspect one, ones that have an arrow on the side representing turning right or left, depending whichever one I get. It doesn't bother me too much, you know. I want one with arrows and one with on the left as well, just like that, okay? And I want to get a button, but I have a button, and I'll show you that in a second. And of course, I've got one of these right now, little pedestrian man, and I will put that in the corner at some point very, very soon. By the way, if this is an interesting video so far, you know, give us a like, subscribe, ring the bell. We make daily videos on this channel every single day talking about world news, technology, celebrity, pop culture news, and whatever else, all right? Anyway, so yes, I'm gonna get something like this, and I've already got this, and I've already got this, and be on against the wall. But going on and continuing on a little further with what we're actually talking about, yes, America's lights are really, really cool. Good on you, America. Now, I wanted to get a button that is, you know, a professional button. This is a button called the Pedcall, and it's got a little, see that little thing there? It makes a beep, 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 beep. I'm trying. Beep, 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 beep. I'm really trying here. Give me a like and subscribe. Now, I didn't end up getting something official, unfortunately, but I'll go into that in a second. But this is actually an art piece, right, that they actually have in the Museum of Applied Arts and Science. Is that somewhere in Australia, right? Well, let me read this quickly. I won't read the whole thing, but you know, the ATPD, Audio Tactile Pedestrian Dictator for Pedestrian Crossings at traffic lights, is an example of an Australian invention. This device was developed in response to social pressure from 1967 through to the 1980s. The initial request came from a member of the public for the Department of Main Roads, DMR, to solve a social problem. I'm trying to make it bigger, but I can't make it bigger. To solve a social problem by developing a safe indicating system for vision and hearing impaired pedestrians to cross the road safely at traffic lights. Now, the resulting public lobbying, I'm not going to read anymore, but if you guys want to read that, you know, please do, okay? So this has become a really, really famous thing now, where this button has become, well, it's become a Grammy award-winning song in a way. I will talk about that in a second, but now the companies that are making these buttons are actually shipping them off to other countries like Singapore, I think, and is it Scotland or Ireland? It could be Ireland. One of those countries. Sorry, it's the luck of the Irish, all right? Live every day, guys. Live every day, all right? Going to what we're talking about, you know, Billie Eilish, Billie Eilish Grammy hit features a surprising Australian sound. Look at all those Grammys. God damn, she couldn't put them all in a suitcase, could she? She really couldn't. Now, that song uses the beeping and the noise, the beep, 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 when the green man goes. The beeping was used in the song. Now, of course, that was tweaked a little bit in the actual song to sound a little different from the actual thing, but I mean, the noise is there, and they've freely admitted it. They've talked about it, Billie Eilish and her associate, with all the Grammys. Oh, I'm so hard done by. I've got all these goddamn Grammys. Help me, someone. They've freely talked about this, and there's articles all over the internet, and there's a video about it. So yeah, this pedestrian crossing has become even more famous than it was before. Now, the one in Melbourne is the one that I like better. I don't know why they don't have this version in Sydney, but they don't. But the one in Melbourne has a little light, whereas the one in Sydney doesn't. Now, there could be other states and territories in Australia which utilizes this one. Whoop, where are we? But I don't know where they are or who they are. But all I know is that Melbourne uses this version a lot more than Sydney, than this one, right? This is purely Sydney, and this one's purely Melbourne. Now, The LED light is really, really cool because when you push the button, you know that you've pushed it because the light comes on, right? So anyway, I wanted to get that, but like I said, those companies weren't really keen on dealing with the public, or some guy who said he needed it for his studio, right? No thanks, they were like. Now, this is some different versions of the Pedcool that you can get, right? We'll make that a little bigger and push it over there if we can. I'll probably remove my face in a second, but the one on the far left, right, is usually put in the intersection for when you're stuck in the intersection and you need to get back to the main part of the street, right? This one doesn't have any sound, but it just basically lets the control system know that, hey, you need to cross because you haven't fully crossed yet. Now, the one in the middle, number 2, is the audio tactile. So I'll read this one for you. So that provides assistance to vision impaired pedestrians via both the audio and tactile feedback to locate the Pedcool, the crossing direction, and the status of the phase of cycle, i.e. walk and don't walk. So if you're blind, you can feel the vibrations by actually touching the center piece that is right there. I mean, the whole thing vibrates pretty much, as opposed to this one, which doesn't. They actually make it with 1 arrow situations as well that don't vibrate. This is a 2 arrow one, but they do make 1 arrow ones that don't vibrate. But the little thing right there represents noise and vibrate, right? But that's the one I really wanted. I'll remove my face for a second. Number 3, the Pedcool with the record light, LED weight indicator in either the standard or audio tactile Pedcools. When the Pedcool button is pushed, an LED indicator illuminates to provide feedback to the pedestrian, showing that their call has indeed been registered. So I really wanted one of them because it would have been really interactive for my studio, right? I pushed the button and, God, I'm going to show you something really, really cool later. If of course you're into the whole road signs and road lights and pedestrian lights and stuff like that. If you're not, then why are you watching this, right? But I really wanted that for my studio, and I would have had it right here, and I will have it. I've got something similar. I will show you that in the box in a second. I want to put it here, okay? And by pushing the button, the light will basically turn green within 5 seconds. But I want a countdown timer situation, and I want to be able to have the control of how much time I put on the clock. So I push the button and this is on the wall with like a countdown timer situation, all right? And then let's say, for example, pushing the button once equals 10 seconds, twice equals 20 seconds. If I push it, a certain amount of times, I get to 60 seconds, and I've got 60 seconds on the clock. And then, of course, that's all right, guys, we're 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 seconds on the clock. Let's talk about our last thing before we finish the video. And it keeps the video interactive. Do you know what I'm saying? With time on the clock, you guys get to see the time on the clock counting down, and I'm like, oh shit, I better hurry up my speech before the time goes down. So that's my thought, to keep the studio really fun looking and interactive with the viewer, and the viewer's kind of like on the edge of their seat. Oh God, he's only got like 15 seconds left, 10 seconds left. Oh my God, you better hurry up, So that's the kind of thing I want to do with that. Now, going to another thing right now. Now, there's actually something else entirely still going with the actual the famous Australian push button Pedcool system. There's a new system now that is different from the LED light one. Now, that's the LED light that comes on when you push it. But this system right here is actually a little sensor, right, that basically detects your hand. So let me show you the next one right here. It's basically called the Touchless Pedestrian Push Button. So number 1, stop on the red signal, obviously, otherwise you're going to get killed by the traffic. Number 2, hold your hand close without touching. All right. Number 3, green blink acknowledges the call. Number 4, wait for green walk symbol before crossing the road. And we'll get to that one in a second. But yeah, so this one, I mean, this is a great thing to have in coronavirus times of living, right? Who wants to touch something that people have touched 1,000 times that day, right? And then another 1,000 times the day before, right? How many germs has that thing got? So I think this is a really, really cool device, and I was actually interested about getting this one as well. Well, more so that one, but apparently that one's a bit more expensive. I don't know how much expensive, but it's a lot more expensive, right? So they make that version as well, which goes from red light to green light, and that's it there again. Now they actually make, get ready for this. They make a version that has a red LED light and a sensor. So it's basically a cross between this. It's a cross between this and this. And this is what you get. You get the sensor and the red light. There's another picture of it right there. So I thought that was cool, but kind of maybe a bit too silly for what I wanted in my studio. But then the more I started thinking about it, I thought, well, then there's the touch sensitivity thing, and then the red light next to it, and I thought maybe that would be cool for the viewers. But I think what I would want would probably be just one of them, but with sound. All right, like one of them, or of course one of them. But I am kind of leaning towards getting one of them if the chance ever comes by, because that would be kind of interactive. But I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. I read every comment I get, and you know, I've got one of these. It's a different version. I'll show you in a second. I'll open the box at the very end of the video, and I'm going to open it up and show you it all. But I probably would like to get something like this someday. Now, going to these things. All right, going to these things right now. Let's open this. We'll open it later, but this is what this bad boy looks like. And because they're not secured on, it just fell off. I need some wire. This is secondhand, by the way. I bought it off eBay, but it's really bright. Okay, really, really bright. This is what it looks like all the way around, and this is kind of not really the one I wanted to get. I wanted to get a countdown timer situation. We will talk about that in a second, but these are the hoods that go around the lady penis. The hoods, never mind, it's just a joke. It's an inside joke, everybody. The sun hoods to protect the light, so you guys can see the light a bit better, I guess, or stop other people from seeing it from the side, you know. Anyway, they're really finicky at the moment. I need to put some wire around the holes to keep it on. But going back to the picture, right? So I wanted one of these. I wasn't too sure which one to get. Once again, the companies wouldn't sell them. The two companies I've showed you guys before, they wouldn't sell it to me. So I ended up, you know, trying to find eBay secondhand, right? Which is what I did, which is what we have here. And that's of course is another picture of the one that I have, this time showing the red. Okay. Of course, they make different versions, right? Bicycle. I've even seen ones in England. Are they called Pelican? I don't know. There's some different pedestrian walking ones in England. One's called Pelican, but anyway, one actually has a horse on it. So if you're horseback riding, and the button is actually a lot higher on the pole in England. So there's two buttons. One's for normal, if you're walking down the street, right? And the other one's if you're on a horse. And then you want to cross the road and you're on a horse, right? Touch the button, which is right next to you because you're sitting on the horse, right? But it's higher up, right? And it's got a horse actually on the thing instead of a bicycle. So that's really, really cool, all right? And there's another picture. I found this on the internet and I thought it was really, really funny, right? Apparently at one point they started making lady versions with the skirts and everything like that. So instead of the pedestrian man, pedestrian woman. What do you think about that? I don't know. They should probably leave it how it is. Why bother? You know, why bother? I like it how it is. Now, this is something I really wanted to get for the studio. Have not got it yet. Like I said, one of the companies that makes this thing won't sell it to me, won't deal with the public. It is what it is. That's their business, right? But I really wanted this for the side of the, the studio. So it's basically the red man right here also turns into a timer, all right? Now, scrolling down here a little bit more, this is another picture of what this thing does, right? It's pretty cool, pretty cool. And this is another version which has the countdown timer on top. So it's kind of like countdown timer with the red and the green on the bottom. I'm not too keen on that, to be honest. I mean, I guess it's kind of cool for public, but if I was a public council, I would want that for my, for my zone, I guess you could say. I think it looks really, really cool, but of course, I would really need a custom traffic controller chip board to make these things work. And I was thinking about, well, I'll get to that later. But I'll show you some chip boards that you'd need to get to make these things work, right? But yeah, I really want one of these one day for the studio and make my studio pedestrian lights like, interactive kind of thing. So as I said, the companies wouldn't supply these things to me, so I ended up looking towards China, because China are great at making copies of things, right? These copies aren't as good as the original. They're not, no. But at the same time, like, something's better than nothing, right? Since I can't buy something brand new from the actual traffic companies, this is what I resorted to, a website called AliExpress. Now, this is what I actually have right now, all right? These are the different colors that you can get. And I'm just scrolling down so you guys see what they have. Now, obviously, I wanted the blue, because everything I've showed you right now is, the blue. That's what we have in Australia, and many other countries are starting to adopt this really famous ped call button, right? And unfortunately, they sent me a different color. I won't show you which color it was, but I won't tell you, I should say, but I will show you later when I unbox the box. But this is what the thing looks like, right? And well, now you know what's in the box. There, you can go home now. Bye-bye. But yeah, well, I will unbox that in a second. But I think what I will do, I will basically spray paint it blue like the Australian one, but it's a different color. I will show you which color it is in a second. I actually thought that because these plates look removable, it's like a cheap copy, all right? So you can easily remove it, which basically means vandals can have so much fun with this if it was mass-produced for the real world, right? These things look to be easily removable. They're not easily removable. I tried, but they're definitely a lot more removable than the ones that you get professionally made, right? See those little clips? There's like 3 clips. If you undo them, I think you can remove it a lot easier than the actual proper made ones. But anyway, so I've got that. And now, of course, I was looking to get something brand new. I was looking to get one of these things brand new, right, from those 2 companies, but of course they won't sell them to me. So I started looking for these things on AliExpress, and a lot of these things kind of look really cheap. Like the LEDs look, in my opinion, they don't look very good. It doesn't look very real. For like my area is Sydney, so we have these covers. We have the exact look of this thing, because this is an Sydney Australian one, right? That I bought secondhand off eBay, so it was an actual used traffic signal, pedestrian signal at one point. So I thought, after looking at these ones, I thought, no, they're not up to my standards, so I didn't go down that path, but I did buy one of these. Yes. Now, going to this, if you want to start operating traffic lights and pedestrian lights in your house, in your man cave, whatever, okay, in your space, you're going to need a control board. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of what you should get, but there are a lot on eBay that you can find. Potential, maybe there's others on other web pages which I'm not aware of. I haven't bought one yet, so this is currently just being powered by the wall, by the plug that you put into the floor. What am I talking about? It's a wall plug, all right? And at the moment, these don't blink, they don't flash, they don't go on separately. It's just basically both on at the same time. So I want to change that so they work when I push the button here. All right, that's my future plan. Now that I've showed you all that I wanted to show you, I think what we're going to do now is we're going to open this up. Okay, have you ever wanted to see what's inside one of these things? I have. I'm actually pretty interested. I've actually seen it inside before, obviously. I actually wiped this down significantly. I significantly wiped this down when it came to me secondhand. It was dirty, cobwebs, spider webs, stuff like that. Now, using my phone, because this is live, I'm using my phone with my A10 Mini Pro, right now. Whoop, hang on a second. Let me fix that. I've got to get into my phone first with the password, and now it will turn around like this. So I'm using my A10 Mini Pro to film all of this with my Samsung T5. Now this is what the thing actually looks like. All right, there we go. From these different camera angles. And if you ever wanted to see what it looks like, there you go. Now this one is from the B company, which is Bromus. Going back to here again. Am I saying it correctly? I don't know. Bromus. So this is a second-hand one from that company. There's also another B there, as you guys can see. And yeah, that's what it basically looks like from this angle, right? Now the way to get this off, you got to do these little things, right? There's one here, one there, one there, one there, and of course they're all up there as well on each side, right? So I don't know if I can do this. Hang on. I'll do this one and on this one, and I should be able to lift it up. There we go. All right. Let's look inside. Will this work? Hang on. Let's do the video. There we go. I've got the light on now. Oh, is it working? It's not working. There it is. Hang on. There we go. So this is what it looks like inside. And this is the LED version. Now, I would have liked a different version. I would have liked the incandescent bulb version, because it's terribly light, terribly lit up and bright. So if I can mod this at some point, I will, to put an actual incandescent bulb in it, right? So let's take out this one as well. Let's do this. So now you can take out the actual whole thing, right? And there you have it. All right, that whole thing has now been taken out. And if you ever wanted to see what's inside, well, there you go, right? That is what's inside. So we'll, I guess we'll take this one off too. And then you guys get a better idea of what's inside both of them, right? I'm sure a lot of people watching this have never seen inside of these things before. I've never before this came, right? So there we go. This one's off now too. We'll go back to number 7. All right. Camera 7 is my phone. And that's what's inside of this one. Just like that. 200mm. Sometimes they do 300mm, which is bigger. The whole thing is bigger. And of course there are wires in there which we will not touch. Alright. So there you go. Alright. So now going back to my little surprise where I was going to show you guys what's inside the box, right? We'll put that back here. We'll open up this box in a second. Alright. Now, here we go. What could be inside? Oh no, you already freaking know. Oops, we're missing an Allen key. I'll get that back. All right, we'll go to camera 3. Oh, look at that. They've taken these things off, see that? So you can, it protects the button. But there we go. Oh, there we go, everybody. So, undo that. We'll get rid of that for now. When you guys have gone, it'll be me that has to clean this place up. I hope you realize that. So we get two of these long poles to put inside of a, well, how do I say that? This goes on a pole somehow, all right? I don't know how, I haven't done it yet. By the way, before I forget, my second-hand traffic light came with these 2 pieces of steel. One goes on the top of the light, and one goes on the bottom, and it kind of holds it in place from a steel pole. So pretend I'm a steel pole. It holds it in place like that. All right, one on the top, one on the bottom. But going back to this thing right here. Now, you may or may not notice there's actually a scratch on the yellow, and that's the color we ended up getting. I ended up scratching that by accident as I tried to take it off. You see the corners, you see the sides? There's 1 there, 2 there, 3 there, and 4. There's like these little tabs that I think you can you can pull the thing off. Because what I want to do, hang on, before I do that, look how satisfying that is. Because this is a cheap copy, which it does a job, right? But because it is a cheap copy, this thing pushes in a lot further than the normal ones that we have in Australia. But yeah, I wanted to take this off, and I wanted to spray paint the color yellow and turn it blue. But I had like a flat knife, one of those, you know, butter knives, like a really dull flat knife. But ended up, you know, whoops, there goes the paint. But it doesn't really bother me because we will be spray painting this blue. I'll put some tape in this area. So then that won't be spray painted, and I'll obviously put some tape all around here, and I'll just be able to go blue. But I probably will spray paint it white first and then blue. Otherwise, if you do the color blue and yellow, doesn't that make green? So I don't want like a greeny tinge. I want like a blue. So I'll spray paint that white and then blue. So yeah, that's what's going on here. Do you want to see what's inside of this thing? Anyone want to see what's inside of this thing? Well, we've got an Allen key. I'm getting hit in the face by 2 electrical wires, which aren't plugged in, thankfully. Let's do this right now. All right. So yeah, I opened this up the other day. I was like, wow. So that's what's inside. Now, mind you, this does not have any sound inside of this mechanism. It's basically just the button, and obviously there is no LED lights in this thing either, so it doesn't look too interactive for the studio. But regardless, I'm happy with my purchase. I mean, it cost me about $90, 95 bucks, 95 Australian, roughly. It's not too bad. If you do buy these things from the company, they're about, I don't know, like $500 to $700 Australian, I think. But don't hold me to that number. I'm not 100% sure, but they're roughly around about that number. Okay. They obviously have the LED light if you pick that version, and they have the tactile sounding feature. All right. But yeah, I definitely am going to get that someday if the opportunity arises. You know, if I find one secondhand on eBay or something like that, then yeah, 100%. I actually did find one on secondhand on eBay the other day, but it was really scratched up and even like hit with a hammer or something heavy. It looked, this thing here looked bent and warped and just kicked too many times over the years, and I was like, nah, you know. It even had the LED light on it and everything, but it was just looked too damaged, and I was like, no, there's no way I'm getting it. So I'm gonna wait for the right time, and hopefully I can get it for a good price, you know, secondhand. Here we go. Oh my goodness, everybody. Let's take it off. There we have it. That's what's inside. Actually, I'm gonna make this wire, push this wire in more because it, hang on. There we go. The wire has to go through it more. And that's what's inside one of these buttons. Whoops, what's going on here? Look at that. And I might do a close-up shot. Hang on, if I can do it. I'll use my phone again. What do you guys reckon? Alright, let's do this. With the light on. Perfect. So this is what's inside. Alright. Really, really cool. Now, like I said, I think this thing can be taken off. But I don't really know how. I tried to put something underneath it and lift it up, but it wasn't working. So it was kind of a shame. But yeah, got a bit of a scratch there. No big deal. This will all be spray painted, and I'll probably just sandpaper the whole thing just to make it look a bit better. But yeah, going back inside again. Obviously never touch these things if they're powered into anything. You will get a nasty shock. Alright. Pushing the button. This is how the thing works. Looks like you've got some grease. Grease lightning! Right there. I can actually hold on to this, that's interesting. So, yeah, I don't quite know how the mechanism works. Like, how does that register a push? I don't know. But I'm sure the ones that they sell in Australia are very different to this. But this is what my one does and what my one looks like. So yeah, there you go, guys. I hoped you liked this video. If you did, you guys know what to do. Give us a like, subscribe, and ring that bell. You know, I've got a few more of these kind of things. I got some more signs as well that I want to start hanging up here. It's amazing what you can buy secondhand online. It really, really is. So I'm really happy with my purchases. But yeah, I hope to get a countdown timer situation someday. That would be really, really cool. Really interactive for my studio, and put 30 seconds on the clock, a minute on the clock, and yeah, going back to here again. Where is it? Where is it? There we go. So I think that would look really, really cool. What do you guys reckon? We're on channel 2, which was the one you're on right now, but we are also on channel 1, where we do travel vlogs around the world. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, there we go, at Tallboy Gareth. I love you guys. Once again, we are doing daily videos every single day, so I will see you for tomorrow's video. I've been Tall, my name's Gareth. Bye-bye.